Hey, beautiful people. This is your girl, Lady V. And so I am going to be bringing to you a mini series on our channel. And it's going to be based around stories and lessons that I got from my dad or that I wish I would have got from my father. I really love my dad and the relationship that I have with him. He's always been present in my life. But sometimes in relationships, we wonder, like, why my daddy didn't tell me this? And maybe I should have paid more attention to this when my dad did this growing up. So I've reflected on a lot of different things during COVID in the last couple years or whatever. And I actually apologized to my dad for one of the many things that he did trying to show love to me. And so gifts is not a love language that speaks to me all the time. But again, like sometimes when somebody tries to put effort into showing that they care and that they love you, you have to try to respond in a positive way. You have to consider their feelings as well, because it's not always fair, even if you don't receive it properly, for them to be treated unfairly or to feel like their efforts went unacknowledged or you were ungrateful for them. So today I'm going to be talking about flowers. When I graduated from undergrad, my dad presented me with this very beautiful bouquet of flowers. And so initially, I did not respond well. So my dad gave me these flowers after graduation, like, congratulations, baby, I love you, I'm so proud of you. You know, it was a really great, grand gesture. And you know what I did? I threw his flowers on the table like they were worthless. And that's not fair to him, and it wasn't cool. So I just kind of threw them on the table like, okay, thank you. So in my mind, like, we weren't staying at the school that weekend. We're going back to my hometown, Chicago, after I graduated from Carbondale SIU. And so I'm like, it's not even a purpose of putting them in water for real, because they gonna die. And I always didn't really like flowers because they died. But there also were other reasons that I didn't share with people, but mostly I just told people I don't like flowers because they die. So, but I did have to apologize to my dad recently, because it was something that I feel like after I reflected on it, I realized like I was being a real brat. Like, girl, your daddy is like trying to show you love in a way like this, you know, means something to him that he thought would be good. And then there are so many like restrictions at graduation, like you can't bring balloons, you can't do this or whatever. And he wanted to physically show something like in that moment. Like, I love you, girl. You did your thing, you know? And I'm just like, whatever. That was not cool. And so I'm learning from those mistakes. Even like in that moment, my dad was trying to teach me like, and how to receive love from men in a way. You know, like my dad is the first person that I learned to love. The first man in my life that I really like fell in love with. And so it's important like to really like pay attention to those lessons that I learned or didn't learn from him. And so I think the other part of me not liking flowers, besides the fact that they actually just die, is that in a lot of movies and a lot of shows, I saw a lot of men apologizing with flowers. I've seen a lot of like, forgive me flowers. And it was like, it seemed very thoughtless to me, even though sometimes flowers can be thoughtful. And a lot of men actually do show love through flowers in a thoughtful way. But I seen televised so many like ways in which men were just like trying to get out of some BS or whatever, or not really like showing appreciation or love, but just like, forgive me, here go these flowers, you right? And I ain't like that. And so in a way, like I kind of like created this wall against something so small that didn't do no harm to me. Like, flowers are really beautiful. And I just didn't treat it that way. It was just like, whatever. And so, you know, as you grow and mature and learn, you definitely learn from those mistakes, those memories, those experiences. You kind of grow from that over time. But if you don't mature, you're going to respond the same way. But sometimes it do take some deep reflection to actually bring it back and be like, you know what? And I mean, even though my dad even forgot about it, I still brought it up and I apologize, because sometimes it means a lot to somebody to just hear, you know, that you actually care. And I mean, I shared some other things with him in that time too, but I just thought that was like a really big thing, because anybody that asked me if I like flowers, I wanted flowers. Like, nope, don't do it. Not cute. They die. I'm not gonna take care of it. But I also like never tried, and I never put the effort into it. Like, flowers are a gift that you not only like have to appreciate when you receive them, but you actually have to care for it. And you have to care for it as much as the person that cared for you who gave them to you. And so, in my current relationship, my first birthday that I shared with Chris from the Lou, he brought me flowers, and it was really cute in how he presented them, because he really didn't know what to get me. He didn't ask, and we hadn't known each other a super long time yet for him to really understand like what makes me happy with gifts and different stuff like that. So he surprised me with card and flowers. And like, even though like I traditionally don't mess with flowers, like I try to be really conscious of my face. I try to be really like conscious of his feelings, and I try to actually take care of the little flowers. I put them in some water. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know how long they lasted in terms of life, but the extra effort was there. And I mean, as long as you put towards the extra effort to show that you care for the person that's actually given to you, then they don't feel unappreciated. You know? So again, you do have to speak to the love languages that people have, and that see how they receive and give love. But pay attention to, you know, the things that they do before finding out the inner you as well, because it takes time to learn people, to grow with them, and to understand like their likes and dislikes. Like, to even find out like, you know, how much you're willing to invest in the gifts that you give them too, because gifts don't be cheap. And you know, not everybody just gonna fly you out and buy you expensive gifts and do all this extra stuff when they don't know how far they're going with you yet. Like, you know, when it happens, it happens. But every time it's not gonna be like that. And dating can be expensive. So just be cautious and be very grateful for like the little things, because it's the little things that matter and that are going to carry you through all of your relationships, whether that be with your parent, whether that be with a romantic lover, or even a friendship. Sometimes surprise your friend or a lover or a parent with some flowers and just see how they feel. And make it a great day, because you never know. You don't want to give somebody their roses after they can't smell them. Give them flowers while they're here. It's been a good one. Remember to follow, like, and subscribe with It's a Midwest Thing podcast. We're going to have a bunch of different stories and fun stuff to share with you coming up. So be tuned in and share with your friends. We like to bring you into the conversation. Always comment what you like, dislike, what you agree with, and even topics that you want to hear us discuss, either individually or together. Love you. See you soon.